Hey guys, welcome to another episode of JDive. So today we're going to be focusing on bare essentials, all you really need in pedals. And this is a pretty complicated topic, but this is my 2 cents on it. So I've had a lot of friends that, I play at a church and I have a lot of friends that play at a church, and we usually go for multi-effects pedals, something like the Line 6 XT Live or the Boss. And there's nothing wrong with it. It gets the job done. I had an XT Live for a couple of years, 5 years, and it did the job perfectly. And then one day it died, so then I was like, oh man, I need to make the switch to pedals. And I didn't really know what I was doing, so I bought a whole bunch, and I just kind of started learning on the way. And now I have some experience with pedals, and I love them. They're a lot of fun. But a couple of friends have approached me and asked me, hey man, like I want to start, getting into pedals. They're a little bit expensive. Where do I start? So if you're part of a church and you want to start getting into pedals, this is the video for you. And if you're not part of a church and you want to still get into pedals, this is still the video for you. This is for everyone. So let's go ahead and start. Today I'm going to be using the Telecaster. And the reason I'm using a Telecaster is because it's so versatile. It does the nice chimey, clean tones whenever you want it to do that kind of stuff. But whenever you turn on some distortion and try to get in some heavier stuff, it does that perfectly also. We're going into the Fender Frontman, and I'm using the dirty channel. Now, the reason I'm using this Fender Frontman is because it has 2 dirty channels. Well, it has 2 different gain stages on the dirty channel. So you have a light overdrive, and then you have kind of like the dirtier overdrive, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, if we look down here on the pedal board, we have a Ibanez Mini Tube Screamer, a Flashback Delay, and a TC Electronic Arena, which is basically a Hall of Fame. And that's the reverb pedal. So first, let's go straight into guitar and amplifier. Now, if you want a good sound, you have to start between the guitar and the amplifier. If you don't have a good sound starting there, then anything you put in between will not sound good. That's just a theory of mine, and I actually one time I was researching Eddie Van Halen, and he said the same exact thing, and that kind of reaffirmed my idea, my conclusion, I guess you could say. So here we go. So here's just the Telecaster into the Frontman on the lighter gain channel. And as you can hear, we're already getting some gain. We're already getting some light distortion. So I know there's not a lot of people that like that. I sort of like it. And if you don't like it, that's not a problem. We can take that away without putting anything in between, without switching channels. We can just pick lighter. Or if you want to, you can use your volume pedal. Your volume knob on the guitar. All you got to do is just take it down a little bit. And there you go. The distortion is gone. Now, that's one thing a lot of new guitarists don't really use. They don't use their volume knob on their guitar. They don't know how to use it. They just put it up all the way on 10 and they rock and roll. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you always have that option. If you just want to clean up the sound, put down the volume a little bit, you have a cleaner sound. Now, if you want good grit sound, there you go. You have it. And I love that sound. It's just nice and gritty. It gives me some more attack. And there you go. So from here, let's go ahead and turn on the Tube Screamer. So here with the Tube Screamer, I have it set just slightly. The volume is just a little bit over unity. So it's kind of pushing the amp a little bit harder. I have the tone backed off right before, kind of like you can say that, just enough to give me a darker sound. And just enough distortion to make it present, not crazy, metal kind of distortion. Just enough to kind of make it known. So I'm going to be using it into the clean channel, or the cleaner, dirty channel, I guess you could say. See, it sounds really nice. I really like that sound. It's not too saturated. It's still, you can hear every note, every chord chime out, just enough to make it sound really cool. Now, I'm gonna turn off the Tube Screamer, turn on the heavier distortion or the higher gain on the amplifier, and let's see how that sounds by itself. As you can hear, I mean, it sounds just a lot more gain. It's a lot more saturated. Now, let's turn on the tube screamer and see what that sounds like. You can use that for solos. I mean, that sounds awesome for solos. The reason the tube screamer sounds really good for boosting solos and just what it's really doing, it's kind of taking, or it's giving you a mid hump. It's giving you kind of a volume boost and then a mid hump. And what that means is you're not going crazy with the solos. You don't have to put a lot of distortion for solos. You just have to make it sound a little bit more unique. I know some people, just to make their solos sound a little bit more interesting, is they put a phaser right before their distortions and they turn them both on. And the phaser effect, they don't put it completely crazy, they just put it enough so that when they're soloing, it sounds interesting. So now let's go ahead and look at this TC Electronic Flashback that I'm using for a delay. Now, I bought this because it's so versatile. It gives you a lot in just a little. Now, especially in a church atmosphere, you have a lot of songs and all of them have different delay times, especially if you're playing a lot of modern Hillsong songs. You know, they tend to have a lot of cool delay sounds, and this offers you all of that just in a smaller package. So let's go ahead and turn it on. And as you can hear, we already have some really cool delay sounds there. So there you have just enough delay to make it sound cool. Not too long, not too overbearing, just enough to make it sound good. What I really love about this pedal, though, is that you have the option of tap tempo. Now, here we have kind of like a long delay, or I guess you can say slow delay, right? Let's put it up to speed. That's amazing. That's awesome. I know the TC Electronic Nova had that, or might have been one of the first ones to kind of offer that. Just kind of put in the tempo by slapping a string. And I think that's awesome. So if you want a good delay without having to spend that much, go ahead and buy this one. It's a great option. I know some Boss pedals have an extension or an expression pedal in, and that's also pretty cool, but that's like $100 plus another $100. You'd have to pay $200 for just one thing, you know. With this, it's $100 flat, and you have everything right there. So not a lot to talk about. It's a delay pedal. It sounds pretty cool. Let's go ahead and look at the reverb. Now, the reason I chose this reverb pedal was because I think they discontinued it, but it's basically the Hall of Fame. But if you look for the TC Electronic Arena, since they're not that popular, used, you can find them pretty cheap. And they're actually cheaper than this reverb pedal. This is a Boss reverb pedal. This one's actually great also, but I think this one is $150. This one you can find online for about $120 to $130. And the Hall of Fame, I think, is also $150. So, but this has a lot of options. I have it on the Royal setting right now with the effect and the delay, the decay just right before the middle. So not crazy. You can always just dial that up all the way to 100 if you want to, and it's gonna sound great regardless. Plus you have the room setting, the hall setting, the spring setting, the plate, the church, a modulated reverb. I mean, it's all great. The only thing is I don't really like the spring reverb on this, but hey, you know, that's an opinion. And there you go. So we have these three pedals, and right now I'm going to use them in conjunction. I'm going to play sections of Hillsong United's song Hosanna, and I'm going to use them, everything that I just talked about, in conjunction. So here we go. So first, we're going to start off with the intro of Hillsong United's Hosanna, and I'm going to be using just the flashback, the delay, and the reverb with the volume just turned down a little bit so it can sound pretty clean without having some amp distortion. Here we go. Okay, so that was pretty cool. Now I'm going to be using the amp on still the lower gain setting, but I'm going to turn on the tube screamer, and I'm only going to use the reverb volume all the way up on the bridge pickup. Here we go. So for the last part, I'm just going to be doing the solo, and I have everything on, the tube screamer, the flashback, and the arena. Plus, I have the amplifier on the dirtier channel, and I'm going to be performing the solo now. All right, guys, thank you for watching. That was my bare necessities, all you really need in pedals and in the church atmosphere, or if you just want to start collecting pedals, this is a really good place to start. I didn't talk about a tuner. There's a lot of good tuning apps in the Apple Store or on the Android Google Play. I know TCL Electronic also has a Poly nano tune kind of thing on their there's an app for that. So you don't really need a tuner. It's free. It's cool. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. If you guys want to, leave in the comment section below what you would like to see next. I would love to just go ahead, read, and get some ideas. Thank you guys. Have a good day.